I started off the email for this webcast that said, when I often hear about communication problems, I said that the very first thing that it's very, very rare that I actually see communication problems. What do I really see? Is that you guys are communicating very well. And here's what you're communicating when you think you're having problems. I'm right, you're wrong. And what you really want to then is somehow make this nice. And if you can make it nice, then there is no problems. But the problem isn't communication. You're letting the other person, the rest of your organization, someone in your family know that you are judging them or what they think, that you're evaluating them and finding them less than, whatever form it takes. It's, I'm right, you're wrong. So now we have a communications problem because you don't agree with me or I don't agree with you. But that really isn't a communication problem, is it? So what is really the problem that begins to level set what's taking place? Now, one of the always first concepts in neuropsychology, and that's really the root of the inevitable you, is we always start out with our intention. So you have to ask yourself, and I really, really want you to hear this. I want you to ponder this. When you are in discussions with somebody, are you trying to win something? Are you trying to hear the other person? What's the position? Are you trying to tell them your side? Are you listening with just the idea that I've got to form a response? So I'm just looking for enough information and I need a pause. And as soon as I get a pause, now I'm diving in. I'm going to win. I've already heard them, so I know they're wrong, et cetera, et cetera. And in that set intention, now we really begin to work with this, what's really the basis for most of the conflict. And I got a number of these. I love these. It's pretty exciting. This might be a Barber rule, I'm always right. Just in case, see rule number 1, I'm always right. Don't you think if I were wrong, I'd know it? We are right. We have a position to present. Now it could be even conflicted. Now it's this in the 10 moment where it's intense. Stakes are high. Jobs, money, performance is resonating and resting in how well you communicate. Oh, but it's a problem because, I'm telling them what's wrong and they're not listening to me. There's a problem. No, it's still not there. It intensifies when these in the 10 moments. And again, if you're new to this technology, I talk about in the 90, which we don't talk a whole lot about because that's 90% of life. This is easy. It is mundane. It is routine. It is flow. And it can be at work. I'm doing emails. I'm sitting in meetings. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm getting the kids out. Whatever it is, it's in the 90. And 90 now can raise up at the organization or the societal level because we could have, it's 2008 was a lot of rough time, but it's not so as rough now, or late 90s was all in the 90s. There wasn't anything rough in the late 90s. You could fog a mirror and you could invest $1 in the internet and Wall Street and turn it to $3. You could buy a house for $100,000 and flip it in 6 months for $150. Everybody was geniuses. But in the 10, in these moments when there is stress and tension and anxiety, which are drivers for some people because they want to avoid these things. The problem is there's also growth here. There's wisdom here. There's lessons. There's learning here. And there is not growth, wisdoms, lessons, learning up here in the 90. because you're just flowing with everything that's easy. Now, when we couple this with the calibration tool, it's almost silly of what we're taking as I'm right, you're wrong. The calibration tool, again, for those that are new, I disagree with you. Okay, let me ask you a question on a scale of 1 to 10. On point A, how much do you agree with me? Oh, that's a 10. On point B, how much do you... Oh, well, I agree with that point too. We're trying to save money. We're trying to do what's right for the organization. We're trying to be safe in our family. C, D, lot of agreement. Now when you get to E, I flat out disagree on that one. Yeah, that's flat out. You're wrong, and this is really critical. But think about if you're starting an argument, a conflict, a discussion with, you have said, before they've even finished speaking, well, I have a challenge for that, or I disagree with that, or, let's say you're even polite and tactful. Well, I really think that's a great position. And then the hidden bubble above your head and the parentheses that's hidden behind your sentence is, but you're still a dumbass. Well, that's really a great point. But here, let me tell you everything that's wrong about it. But it's occurring right there. It's not occurring in the rest of the argument. So even on something that you're really in hot disagreement, think about this. If you could say, I just flat out disagree with you, and that's the position, versus, well, 92% of your position I'm in agreement with. Now, how to get to that 93%? Well, that's pretty hard. But see, already you have changed the dynamics of the communication. So it's really, really important. This I'm right, you're wrong is very important. And, what are your intentions as you have this communication? What are you really trying to do?